Joining me now, Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis, Republican from New York. Congresswoman, I know you're right there on Capitol Hill. What's the atmosphere this morning after the chaos of last night?
Well, I think a lot of Republicans are walking around saying what we in New York know, that progressives cannot govern, and that is what was evident yesterday when Nancy Pelosi failed to bring the bipartisan infrastructure bill to the floor. I'm of the belief that that bill needs to come to the floor in a separate vote, and the fact that the progressive socialists are threatening to sink everything, including that infrastructure bill that has money for roads and bridges and seaports and coastal infrastructure and sewer and water infrastructure, because they are holding out for their socialist wish list, which, as you know, and you've been covering very well, entitlements, welfare without work programs, government overreach and intrusion in your bank accounts. This is something that we cannot support as Republicans, and you'll get 0 Republican votes if they tie the two together.
Now, late last night, Speaker Pelosi said there will be a vote today. She was referring to a vote on the $1.2 trillion infrastructure deal. From your perspective, as a Republican, right there on Capitol Hill, do you think there will be a vote today?
It's hard to tell. They're going to be meeting the Democratic conference at 10:30 this morning, and so we'll know more later today. I believe it's incredibly important that we do take up that bill, because you can't cave to the socialist wing of the party. That has been the Democrats' mistake here, giving them too much power and say. And again, whether it fails or it passes, that infrastructure bill that passed the Senate should come to the floor. U.S. Chamber and so many other organizations have been working very hard to try to put together the support for this bill. I'm inclined to support it at this time if it does come alone, because it would be very good for New York City, and I see how it could benefit my constituency. But in no way will I continue to support will I support a socialist wish list of $3.5 trillion that will just further drive up inflation. You see what's happening to the economy, the labor shortages, the supply chain shortages, the production shortages. And look at the Dollar Tree is even saying they can't even sell things at $1 anymore. So the idea that this does not affect people making under $400,000 is ridiculous. It's a complete lie from the president. Taxation is inflation. We know it, and we have to be very cautious. Infrastructure is one of those things that taxpayers expect for their money. Okay, but the socialist wish list and free handouts is not.
Got it. Congresswoman Malliotakis, always a pleasure. Thank you very much for being with us this morning and setting the scene for what's going to be an extraordinary day again. Thanks very much, ma'am. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Let's have a look at the